Like when you think about shows that are popular today,
Big Bang Theory.
God,
People
like
love the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, like that shit sucks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Conversation with Colin. I'm Greg, and this is my roommate, Colin. Now, Colin says some crazy stuff sometimes, so every Tuesday and Thursday we reach into the topic pile, pull one out, toss it at him, and have a conversation about it. Colin has no idea what the topic will be until you hear it right here. If you like that idea, like this show, favorite it, subscribe to YouTube, all that jazz. Enjoy yourself. Colin, are you ready?
Yes.
Today's topic of conversation is Seinfeld. Is it the greatest show ever?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh. Why? Back it up.
I think that.
Stop you guys. Do that intro one more time. Just say subscribe.
Because I did the YouTube thing, right? I know.
Just say subscribe. You can keep rolling. It's okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Conversation with Colin. I'm Greg, and this is my roommate, Colin. Now, Colin says some crazy stuff sometimes, so every Tuesday and Thursday, I reach into my topic pile, pick one out, toss it at him, and we talk about it. He has no idea what is in the topic pile until he hears it on this show, just like you. If you like that idea, like this show, then subscribe to us here. It'll be fun, you'll enjoy it. You can tweet at us once in a while, leave a comment, we'll talk about it. Colin, are you ready?
Yes.
Today's topic of conversation, Seinfeld. Is it the greatest show ever?
Yes.
All right. No, why? Why is it the greatest show ever? Why is Seinfeld so great? Why can we watch Seinfeld like we do 3 times a night every weekday and still love it?
I think it has to do with things that we can quantify and also things that are intangible. I think that the 4 main actors on Seinfeld are perfectly cast, really funny together, and really funny individually. And you care about them, and you kind of are they're endearing. Like George is my favorite character in any fiction ever, like of any kind of fiction. And George is an asshole, and like you shouldn't like him. Like he's conniving, and he manipulates people, and he's like lazy and slovenly and stuff.
Trying to get with Marissa Tomei even though he's engaged.
Yeah, I mean, but like he is an amazing character, and I absolutely adore that character. I think Seinfeld has managed to do something that few shows have managed to do. I think I Love Lucy and All in the Family are 2 really good examples of shows like it. And that even though it takes place in a space and time, I Love Lucy was very 50s, family-centric, very family-friendly. Yeah. And All in the Family was like very like Vietnam War era, like Archie Bunker is a Republican asshole, and like Meathead is like, this liberal that, and they shouldn't get along, but you kind of understand both of them. And I think with Seinfeld, like even though it took place, during the course of the 90s, really, that it will always be timely and it always makes sense. And every generation after, just like our generation appreciates I Love Lucy, will appreciate Seinfeld because it doesn't pigeonhole itself into a certain place in time. And I think that is one of the intangibles of why the show is great.
Now, it's interesting that, first off, Seinfeld's still relevant, I think. Is it just because they're piggybacking off topics that'll always be there, sex, love, friendship, stuff like that? Is that the key to a good show, or the key to staying relevant for so long?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I know what makes a show like that.
How many award-winning shows have you made? You make them.
Many.
You just make them and go.
I shit them out. But I think that Seinfeld does touch on things that you understand. I also think it's the show about nothing mentality, about like how you can appreciate the minutia of the things that they talk about. Let me give you an example. In the first season, one of the very first episodes is the Chinese restaurant. And that episode is the epitome of a show about nothing. That show is about nothing. It is about them waiting for a table at a Chinese restaurant. And what is so ingenious about that is that everyone's been there. Everyone has seen the dude come in, and he clearly came in after you, and he gets table first. Everyone's been talking to the guy at the front about how much longer he has, and he keeps giving you bullshit times and stuff like that. Everyone's seen those things, and instead of like having a real plot where they feel like they have to drive home something and they have to get point A, point B, and point C in there, it's something where it's like, hey, you've been here and you understand why this is funny and why this might be frustrating to people, and how they walk out at the end and then their name is called.
Yeah.
Or the one in the parking garage where they're looking for their car. Like that's another nothing episode, the epitome of what Seinfeld's all about. But it's about not being able to find your car and like kind of funny shit that happens. Like Jerry's arrested for peeing, and Kramer's carrying the air conditioner around and all these things, and like the goons, with the goldfish in the bag and all that. Like all these like different things that are happening in that episode. I think Seinfeld's just special for like a myriad of reasons.
Now, depending on when people watch this episode, we've talked before about Boy Meets World and how those characters got stupider as the show went on, and how that happened even in Family Matters and stuff along those lines. Why didn't that really happen in Seinfeld?
I think that it did and it didn't. Like I think that the show definitely and decidedly got more outrageous at the end, and there are just really like the show really became a parody of itself, I think, towards the end, and I think that's why those late like those last 2 seasons episodes are actually some of the best ones because the characters did become over the top. Like, you know, think about George's relationship with his deceased fiance's parents. Or think about like just how outrageous that whole arc is.
Even looking at Elaine, right, in the early seasons when she's just a normal girl compared to the end when she's like, get out and shoving people over.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like, or like think about like the Peterman reality tour. Think about Top of the Muffin to You and all these things, the Soup Nazi and all of these awesome Seinfeld episodes that progressively got more over the top. My favorite episode, of course, is, and we've talked about it many times, is the Kramerica episode. I think that is like the best episode of Seinfeld. That's where Kramer has an NYU intern and George was working at Play Now or whatever, and they found out that he wasn't really handicapped and all these like random ass things happening in that episode, and it's brilliant. The noise that he's making with that girl. And
Hello!
Yeah. But then, of course, it all crescendoed into an unfortunate finale that no one likes. And
see, I didn't hate the finale. Like
I didn't hate it either, but I think that the problem with the finale, and I understand why people don't like it, and it's the reason I don't like it, is they tried to do what you expected them to do, which was to bring like all of the things that made you laugh, like the woman with the marble rye and the soup Nazi and all these guys back that you haven't seen in a while, the library cop and all these funny, and it's a funny idea, but like they didn't. It was a cop out for really having a real last episode, and I think that was like a little frustrating to people. Like, okay, they went to jail. That's how the show ends.
Yeah.
Like they went to jail.
They finally got their comeuppance. They were bad people for so long.
Yeah, but that's stupid, and that's like casting a judgment, and that's their right to do. But like it's a casting.
You don't want them to go back and change it at an extended DLC.
No, it is what it is. So like it's their Larry David and that crew and Jerry Seinfeld obviously. That's their show, and they finished it how they wanted to. But I did like it when I first saw it. I was in 8th grade when the finale aired, and I taped it, and I was like really excited.
And VHS
about it.
tape.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it, but I understand why people don't like it, and it really is an unfortunate last episode where they really could have done something more clever that is more in line with the amount of cleverness that the show had.
The thing is, it never would have lived up to that. I think that's the whole point of that episode, right? Is kind of the fact that we talk about it now, right? And we have our favorite episodes and this, that, and the other, and we can remember specific things just by Soup Nazi, Marble Rye Lady. Mm-hmm. You know exactly Hamptons. You know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And like, there was no way they were going to cap that off in a show that was the best one ever because they've given 9 years, right, of memories that were just awesome.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, it's a tough thing to have to wrap up the show. I wish they never wrapped it up to begin with. It is smart that they were number one and they went out on top and stuff like that. But we could have. I really feel like that show could have been on for another 10 years and like been totally awesome and like everyone would have loved it. And we got a little taste of it in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where they did the whole season based on the Seinfeld reunion episode, which was fucking awesome and like really gave you a taste. And there's basically like 10 or 15 minutes of new Seinfeld footage in that, and I think that's really cool of them now talking about iPhones and all this stuff. It's like really great. But no, I think you're right. That I don't think Seinfeld will ever be beaten as a show. Like when you think about shows that are popular today.
Big Bang Theory.
God,
people
like
love the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, like that shit sucks. You know, like who the fuck wants to watch the Big Bang Theory when you can watch Seinfeld on repeat like 6 times a night? And even though you've seen all of them a million times, like wow, you really want to watch Seinfeld every night, even though you can watch a new episode of the Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother and all this garbage. That's like not funny. And
they're trying.
They are trying, and God bless them. But God bless the people that people out there obviously love that shit. Yeah. But it's not for me. I think Seinfeld is timeless television, and it's with I Love Lucy and All in the Family, and a few others that I like. Welcome Back, Kotter, for instance, that I think are like just really the epitome of great television.
Great. Well, thank you, Colin.
You're welcome.
I think that wraps up this conversation. What do you think of it? What is the best show ever? Leave a comment below. Then like the video, share it with your friends, follow us on Twitter, all that jazz. It's a lot to do, I know, but really for you, it's just a couple clicks and you're done. Good times, everything else. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'll pull something from the pile, toss it at Colin, and we'll talk it out. Until then, I hope you have a conversational day.